Hi folks, Fruit and Doggie here, introducing you to my channel. And my main intention here is to just give you an idea of what my intentions are, what I plan to do in the future, and my reason for making these videos to be. Basically, I'm going to start off with the name of my channel in the first place, Fruit and Doggie. What does that mean? Why am I naming it that? And to be completely upfront, whatever you have in mind, whatever explanation you have is pretty much wrong. The origin of that name is very bizarre and very specific. And I'm actually going to hold on to that one for a while. I think it's odd enough to leave as a milestone in the future, maybe X years or X subscribers. I'll do a simple special to describe where the name came from. But moving on, my intention for this channel is not just a singular approach to video content. I would say that most channels have a central, solid theme, and I am not casting shade or saying anything negative about that. It makes perfect sense to me that you would have one thing you focus on, that'd be your bread and butter. When people come to your channel, they know exactly what they're going to get. It's going to be the same thing in and out, day in, day out. But for me, the reason I'm not doing that is simply because I don't have a singular passion in my life. There isn't the end-all, be-all, this is my life's passion, this is my life's love. I think many people, or at least whenever I watch YouTubers, it seems that those who have that single consistent theme are pursuing that one life's passion. And for myself, I just don't have that. For instance, people who are in love with music, the way it sounds, the emotions it stirs, and their attempts to write and create their own music. I am a little envious of people who have that, to be entirely honest. That one thing they're just absolutely head over heels in love with, that they can go to over and over and over without tiring. But as for myself, there are definitely interests and hobbies in my life that I've held on to for a very long time, that have been consistent, and as far as I can best predict for my own future, I will love those for my entire life. For me, the two most common ones that people would probably describe and attribute to me would be gaming, video games, and reading. Those have been two of my bigger passions. But having said that, that has waxed and waned. There have been times where I was gaming very consistently. I would play video games on a near daily basis. But then there have been long stretches of times where I wouldn't play video games for weeks, months, not years, that'd be wrong, but where I just wasn't taking the time to game. And same goes with reading. I can read a book in a single day. If I am very interested, if I pick it up and it holds my attention, I'll crank it out an entire day. I can read a couple of books in a week, no problem. But then I would say almost to the point of years, I would just not be reading. And if you can notice in the background behind me, there's a bookshelf with books on it. So that's definitely something I'm still interested in. But having said all of that, my goal for my channel would be to be more inclusive, a more eclectic approach where I wouldn't limit myself to one or even two different types of videos. In the meantime, or at least starting out, I will be more limited. I'll have a smaller scope because I'm not used to making videos. I'm not familiar with this recording program, especially not modern editing. The last time I was editing videos was back in high school more than 10 years ago. And things have changed a little bit with software and hardware in that time. So there'll be a learning curve. Plus, with my current setup, there's only so much I'm really capable of. Even though I would love to record myself doing maybe more skits or stuff where I'd be out and about outside the house, even just different rooms in the house, my current recording setup really has me limited to more of a vlog style of video. So, starting out, I'm going to be sticking with Let's Plays. I'm going to be doing reviews. Primarily video games, but this is something I'm actually really interested in doing is book reviews. And if there'd be an interest, if there'd be a way to collaborate and do this, I think it'd be interesting to do sort of a book club style approach to talking about books. I can't imagine that there isn't an interest in that, but it's not something I'm very familiar with on YouTube. Of course, to be fair, that's not something I've really sought out either. But my reason for taking this approach, aside from just my perspective, is that I imagine that there's several people out there who are a lot like me, who have a wide range of interests that can vary quite a bit. I think most people who do have any subscriptions through YouTube, they're not just subscribed to one or a small handful of of content producers, not even one type. I'm sure they're subscribed to a wide range. And I do think that this could be somewhat of a disaster waiting to happen as well, because the one good thing about having a very small scope of videos of variety is that you don't have to worry about people losing or gaining interest in that fluctuation. So somebody could subscribe to my channel and it's like, hey, I only care about your reviews or your Let's Plays. I don't care that you're trying to put out content that varies away from that. I'm not going to watch it. And I can't blame them. Or on the other hand, basically taking on too much in essence, having too many types of videos, too many different series going on, and I can't keep up with it all. That would be my main concern. Pardon. And I will say that as an ideal or as a long-term goal, it would be very nice if this could be a form of income, frankly, a job. That'd be ideal. But I'm not going to be having high expectations that I'm going to take off and things are just going to work out swimmingly. That's why I say that it's a long-term goal, because there are people who have tried the YouTube thing long before I have. They've put out the content and there just hasn't been that interest. They're good people, they make an earnest attempt, but it just never takes off. And frankly, I don't see why what I would be doing would be any different from that. At the very least, I would have to put in the effort and grow the channel. I'd have to get myself out there. I'd have to have a hook that would draw people in. And maybe that's just not going to be me. Maybe I'm just not going to appeal to people. But if nothing else, over the years, just from being a person watching videos on YouTube, I've had different ideas come to mind, different things that I would want to share with other people, get it out of my head. And it's a good way to not be an echo chamber, so that I have these ideas floating around my head. It's like, that's brilliant, that's a good idea. Surely there's some meat there. And if I just had a little bit of somebody else's insight, somebody else giving me feedback, they would point out flaws. They would notice things that just I never even paid attention to, I never thought of. And I think that is one of the benefits of the online community, is how much faster there can be this discussion, this possibility for ideas to grow and flourish. That is more the ideal, the idealistic, the rosy side of the online community. But, you know, I can't just focus on the negative and be down on it. I've been too involved, at least as a consumer, to thoroughly just trash it. So that's my theoretical intention, what I would hope to put out. And I'm just going to focus primarily on a smaller scope. Maybe try a couple different series or ideas, see how they go, see if there's any response or interest. And again, thinking of the smaller scale, not so much whether there's very many people watching, but if the few people that do watch, if they like it, if there's something there that it's sparking an interest, that it appeals, then that would be enough for me to keep going with it if I had more ideas and more things to produce from that. And being a longtime consumer of YouTube, there are certain aspects that I would try to avoid because some things are just maybe minor or petty, but still drive me just a little batty. For instance, when every content creator out there always says in all their videos, be sure to like, be sure to leave a comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Like, I absolutely understand it. This is your source of income. You really need that sort of feedback and that interaction from people that helps with the algorithms, helps get you out there. It's good for your channel. But I don't like that constant every video reminder. So I just want to tell people to do that. If you like the video and you're so inclined, you're going to give me a thumbs up. If you are sort of ambivalent, but you don't want to be a jerk and give me a downvote just so I don't get hurt by that, I think that's better than trying to tell you, hey, be sure to leave a like. And people never say, hey, if you dislike the video, be sure to leave me a dislike. Nobody ever encourages that side of it. They don't really want that feedback. And really, I think many videos may not necessarily inspire people to comment. There may just be nothing of great interest to them in that video. So if nothing stirred you to leave a comment, if you weren't already going down there and typing by the time I tell you to, what are you going to say that you weren't going to say before? Hey, you told me to leave a comment, so I'm going to be a good drone. Thank you for the guidance. NPC 1137. No. And I've seen enough videos through random recommendations where I might like the one or maybe 2 or 3 videos I check on somebody's channel, but it's not interesting enough for me to actually subscribe to the entire channel, or they produce content so infrequently, I just don't even want to be bothered. And I've seen enough random videos I don't even want to watch that much in the first place that keep popping up in my recommended, so I'll just watch it once so it stops showing up. And I'm not going to subscribe. I already did that just so your video would go away. That is one thing I will say I really dislike about YouTube, is how those recommended videos work. That whole algorithm system. Not a big fan. And the notification bell, I don't really subscribe to channels very much anymore, but I can understand that whole dilemma. But the way I see it is, with everybody telling people to do that every time, why do I need to bother doing that too? Nobody's going to be going onto YouTube and it's like, you know what, this is the first video I ever saw. I never seen anything on YouTube before, and so without this guy's guidance, I'm not going to figure it out. I don't know how to YouTube. And that was kind of a long rant. I apologize if that was a complete distraction, but frankly, the reason I'm going to leave that in is because this is how my content is going to be. This is the type of person I am. I'm not going to neutralize who I am because, oh, hey, maybe people watch my videos and like me now. I do intend to be family friendly. I'm going to produce content that's compatible with YouTube's overall theme of what they allow and don't allow. Like I said, long-term goal would be, hey, if this could be a job and would pay, that'd be great. I'm going to go for the monetization and ad revenue. So again, family-friendly. But I'm not going to take myself out of the equation. I'm not going to put on so much of a mask and become someone else entirely just to make not even really YouTube, but to make viewers love me. I mean, even if I tried, I think I'd have to be so artificial and remove myself so much to be that trussed up performer that I don't think anybody would like it anyways. I will try, or let me phrase that. There will be some videos or some series where I might put on a bit of a character. It should be very obvious I'm not acting in my norm. And I think that's a slight difference. A simple example of that would be, I think these videos are really ridiculous. The try not to laugh videos, they call them challenges. But what I always find so hilarious about them is how often what they break down and laugh at is not funny whatsoever. At least not to me and my sense of humor. So many of those compilations are such weak sauce. I think it'd be somewhat funny to do a very sarcastic, droll, dry, oh man, this was a real challenge, people. So that's something I'm going to try. I think that should be fairly easy to do. Again, it might appeal to me. I don't know if other people will like that. That's something I'll try to work on is, oh man, what are people going to think? Are people going to like it? I'll try not to repeat that theme too much. And I suppose that's all I can think of right now. I'm going to double check my notes. I did write a basic script. That's a little too generous. I wrote some footnotes. That's basically it. I was correct. I suppose one thing I do want to aim for is to be genuine and to not be a hypocrite. That is much easier said than done, being entirely honest. That's sort of a sad reality, but it is what it is. And so this is maybe putting the cart before the horse, but if things took off, if I ever got an offer for doing a sponsorship, for instance, one thing I would want to do is to not forsake my own values and to ever shill for something that I actually dislike. If I were to ever put in that sort of content because, again, took off, it would only be something I actually stand behind. That is something I would want to hold myself to. That I am sticking to my guns. I'm not throwing my own credibility, my own conscience out the window just, oh hey, somebody took an interest, going to pay me to sell out. I mean, basically with the style of videos I plan to make, the topics I want to discuss, how could anybody ever take me seriously or believe what I say if I can be sold out that easily or bought off that easily? Does what I say really matter if it's worth that little? I would say no. But it's easier said than done. And I think that's a sad fact about humanity. That's probably a video I'll go into sooner than later. It's not so much that we are willing to sell out, but really how low of a price it can be. But anyways, that was an example of me rambling, going off track. And I hope that if you do check me out, that you find... Oh, check me out. No, but if you do watch my videos, that you find something of interest. And I guess that's going to be all. Thank you for watching. And yeah, that's it. I'm not going to tell you to like, do all these other things. And that's it for a Doggie video, folks. Have a good one.